I first met Eagle around 2009. I played a few rounds with his dad here and there with Pat, being from Colorado. Initially, what I'll do is I'll do a bunch of small sketches, probably about 2 inches or 3 inches in diameter, and I'll send Jussi and Eagle, anywhere between 5 and 20 of them, and we'll go from there. They'll pick the ones that we like, and I'll work on developing those, and then we'll eventually refine it to what it comes to.
From an idea to a worldwide success, this is the story of the Cloud Breaker. Okay, let's talk about the Cloud Breaker. So originally, we actually were designing the DD3, our newest distance driver, back in 2018. That was also the year that Eagle won his first major championship in Konopiste. And at the end of the year, we were sitting down with Eagle and kind of planning his future at the Discmania team. And we decided that he needs and he wants a distance driver. Back in the day, the only distance driver our pro players were throwing at the time was PD2, and that was kind of a bit too overstable for most of the players. So we started to design the ultimate distance driver, which eventually came to a DD3.
My prior two Signature Series mold was the MD3 and P2, which were pre-existing molds, and my next Signature Series disc was going to be the PD2. But testing out the Cloud Breaker, or the DD3, was definitely special. It had tremendous glide, amazing speed, and just a really incredible feel in the hand. And after testing it, I had to make a point to tell Jussi that, sorry, I don't want the PD2. I want this new disc. For him to put that trust behind me, I'm very grateful for it.
Well, the history behind the naming this disc as a Cloud Breaker is pretty simple. Eagle has been known for a very long distance shots, and obviously this was our new distance driver. So it was part of one of our brainstorming sessions when we came up with the name Cloud Breaker, and it immediately hit us that, okay, this is going to be a good one.
Most of the time, it's really he comes up with the name of the disc, and then we kind of work the artwork around that.
What Manny and I were trying to achieve was a 70s movie poster, so kind of an old school vibe, clean lines.
We wanted something kind of streaking across a big sky was the main thing, so I added in the sun rays to give it again more of like an open air feel for the image, so it was an eagle flying across kind of a really big open sky.
I think Manny really knocked it out of the park on the Cloud Breaker one. I think it's really a timeless stamp.
And that was the Christmas time 2018 when we decided to put a small amount of these prototype Cloud Breakers DD3 mold into the mystery boxes. And that is basically where the hype started.
It kind of holds whatever line you put it on. It's very versatile, incredible glide, and just a good consistency in the plastic, very durable.
Cloud Breaker was one of the first swirly discs in our lineup, and of course Eagle liked that S-line feel in his hand, and of course it's good to have a premium plastic in your distance driver, so it was kind of a pretty obvious choice.
And it just really set the stage for an all-around high-speed distance driver that you could put a lot of trust into.
It was immediate hit among our fans, and we started to make a new run for the summer 2019. So the original Cloud Breaker run was our biggest signature disc run at the time, but because we already had the success with the mystery box release with the prototype Cloud Breaker, we were very confident that this will be a hit.
Super sick.
And once people got their hands on it, they realized this is a special disc. This is Discmania's flagship driver.
We sold out Cloud Breakers in minutes, And it kind of started the whole hype behind this great distance driver. Fast forward to 2020. The pandemic had started, which was a huge increase on disc golf players and interest all around the world. And we already had made the Cloud Breaker order earlier that year. So the Cloud Breaker 2 did have a great expectations both from us and from the fans.
Oh, it's so pretty.
The Cloud Breaker 2 was a little bit more understable on average. I know a lot of players really loved the Cloud Breaker 2 because it fit their arm speed a lot more. I think the Cloud Breaker 2 really hooked a lot of people into the series.
The Cloud Breaker 2 is like a transition through time for me, is the way that I was thinking about it. With the Cloud Breaker 1, we almost wanted more of the rounder, bubbly feel to what we were doing. And so we are moving on to what we felt like would be along the lines of a video game as opposed to a movie poster the first time. So one of my favorite things about the Cloud Breaker 2 is, believe it or not, it's all made up of straight lines. The only curved lines are the actual eyes in the eagle. So for me, it was an evolution of the artwork, almost a de-evolution of the artwork, going from the very flowy stuff to a very completely straight line.
Each run of discs is going to be a little bit more unique than the last, and it just so happened that the Cloud Breaker 2 ended up being more of the people's Cloud Breaker.
And it was an immediate sellout, so it did outperform any previous drop we have ever made at Discmania.
I always want to make things better than what I've done before. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm trying to live up to what we've done before. I just want to grow as well as an artist, as well as the disc and Discmania and Eagle. We want to keep kind of improving what we're doing.
2021 saw the complete reincarnation of the Cloud Breaker.
The main thing that makes the Cloud Breaker 3 the most special is that it's the first Cloud Breaker to be produced in the Discmania factory in Sweden.
We wanted to kind of have that evolution show as well, so we kind of pushed it in a different direction. Instead of going futuristic like we were planning to before, we wanted to keep it more kind of what we originally started with not just the Cloud Breaker, but what I originally started working on kind of with Discmania, which is the really godlike figure.
So we had to start with the new mold and the plastic. We ended up making the DD3 in the special blend S-line plastic for Eagle.
I definitely told Jussi Meresmaa what I wanted in a disc, and that entailed good dome, good rigidity of the plastic, and definitely tried to make it a little bit more on the overstable side to be able to handle a pro level's arm speed.
The biggest elemental change that I see on that was the actual clouds, the lightning storm. Before, we had some very kind of, nice clouds in the background, real big fluffy clouds. And so I really wanted to kind of put something more dynamic on there. I'm thinking thunderstorm, I'm thinking explosions, I'm thinking something blasting through the clouds.
And the Cloud Breaker 3, it took us a little bit longer than we wanted, but eventually in December 2021, we released the Cloud Breaker 3. And yet again, it was an immediate success and sell out all our stores.
With the success of the Cloud Breaker 3, it was a perfect foundation for what was new to come.
This new Cloud Breaker is a very special disc. It is the first Creator Series Cloud Breaker we have ever made. All the Creator Series discs are made together with the player, so we take the player into our design process, starting from the mold design. So the Cloud Breaker is a unique mold, which is made according to Eagle and our preferences.
I'm really grateful to see that Discmania realizes the importance of giving me some input in the design process so I'm able to have the confidence in my discs.
For this 2022 Cloud Breaker, we kind of came back to the old roots. The disc has a relatively soft special blend S-line plastic, which is very similar to the original prototype Cloud Breakers.
We wanted to create a flight that was similar and kind of a culmination of all the runs combined.
We wanted something that was visually intense. I wanted it to be something that when you looked at it, it was staring you down. A bold direction for, I think, kind of what, not just the disc, the new direction of the disc, but again, the new direction of Discmania and what they're doing.
The naming of the Cloud Breaker is also renewed. So after 3 editions of Cloud Breakers, we are coming back to the Cloud Breaker because this is a unique mold. So you're gonna see Cloud Breakers in the future without the number.
With Discmania giving me the opportunity to make the Cloud Breaker my own unique mold really is a testament to how they trust me to promote their flagship driver.
In the future, I see that we combine the best disc golfer in the world, Eagle McMahon, and the most innovative disc golf company, Discmania, into this disc. And this is called the Cloud Breaker.